Venus, our money planet, is still retrograde until April 12th. So what I thought I would do for the month of April is have 2 money and career tarot readings and horoscope deep dives for you. This first one here, we'll look at the time period from April 1st to the 15th with the influence of Venus retrograde and how that might be impacting your money and career life. And make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the second video for the second half of the month. But right now, let's discuss what you need to know right now, April 1st through the 15th, money and career. Keep watching. So welcome to the channel, or welcome back. So awesome to see you here. I hope everyone is doing well out there. We'll discuss briefly some astrology stuff. If you want to just get right to your sign, everything is time stamped. Watch for your rising sign first and then your sun sign. Kind of combine what resonates from both of the messages for you. And that's about as personal as we can get of a reading here with general readings on YouTube. Remember too, if you need to look at your personal money situation, I do offer a personalized prosperity plan reading that combines astrology and tarot. If that's of interest, you can click the link in the description of the video to book an appointment with me. So Venus started out retrograde in Aries, but she is now backtracked all the way into Pisces. And I think it's very interesting that on April 12th, we will be having a full moon in Libra, which of course is ruled by Venus. So, and that's around the same time that Venus will go direct. So there's definitely money energies afoot for us. And the idea, I think, of balance and harmony and stabilization. And because the retrograde is about rethinking and reviewing and reconsidering, and maybe even redeciding something, recommitting to something, I think it's very interesting that we're having that full moon in Libra, which can be about what is going to work for our own personal harmonious balance in the decisions we're making for money and career life. A day to really keep on your radar in this 2-week period, April 1st to the 15th, is April 7th, when Venus retrograde will conjunct Saturn in Pisces. This is the same day that Mercury goes direct, also in Pisces. He started out retrograde in Aries and backtracked as well. Venus retrograde conjunct Saturn, again, a rethink of a commitment, reconsidering something. Mercury going direct, you may be finally making up your mind and making important money and career decisions around that time. You maybe have been thinking about it for the last 3 weeks, maybe even since the full moon lunar eclipse in Virgo, which was the day that on March 15th, which was the day when Mercury went retrograde. So things have been simmering beneath the surface. That's very Piscean. And you're kind of ready to make a big leap, make a big decision. You've thought about things a lot. So you're maybe just putting those final touches on making that decision. So leading up to the full moon on April 12th, Mercury is direct. Venus is about to go direct. She's going to meet up with Saturn, the planet of commitments. You're going to probably be making some interesting decisions for yourself in this window of time. So let's see what the tarot has to say. And it really can be too about letting go of a karmic cycle and choosing something different for yourself, of course, because Saturn's involved. And it could be too about commitments. It can be about not delaying anymore what you truly want to be doing because you've thought about it long and hard and you've reflected and you're like, no, I'm not going to wait around anymore. So that could be part of it. You could be wrapping up an old energetic cycle in terms of money commitments. You could possibly be paying off a debt. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at this. You may be finishing up with some sort of payment plan that was legally directed, or you're wrapping up some sort of legal situation because, of course, that full moon in Libra that is coming up on April 12th. So lots of things to consider here. Always, as I say, apply the energies to your life, and let's see what the tarot has to say. And yes, hit that subscribe, the bell, the thumbs up if you find the content valuable, and so you also don't miss or second half forecast for April when that is released. All right, Aries, let's see what you need to know for this April 1st to the 15th, money and career energies. And happy birthday, Aries. It's our season. All right, let's see. What do we need to know? Aries, money and career life. What do we need to know right now? We have the Lovers. We've got some Gemini and the Fool. Okay, this is quite lovely and luscious. We're going to pull some more cards, but let's just discuss this. So you are ready to make a decision. Like this could be you have two options here, or you could be deciding I need to have both in my life. I need to have a personal plan and a professional plan. I need to do my side hustle, but also still keep my regular gig. Or you're working on two income streams or something like that. Thank you, Bobo. Big Bobby. Crashing on the desk. But also, this Lovers is very awesome because it is your third house of the mind, Aries. The writing, speaking, teaching, networking, sales house. So you could be on the brink of starting some brand new things in your life in those areas. And you're ready to take action because you have been thinking and contemplating. You perhaps have been getting a lot of inspiration behind the scenes with all of this activity of Pisces happening in your 12th house of the behind the scenes, the subconscious. You could be getting like inspiring downloads. And you're kind of sifting through and weighing your options. Well, which new thing do I want to create in my life? Which new leap of faith do I want to take? I feel like there's something here where you're coming up with a problem-solving solution, or solutions because of this too here, and you're just kind of contemplating still which is the best one to move forward with. But this is really exciting. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Let's pull from the top of this deck. In your heart is the Six of Cups. That's very interesting. King of Coins energy. And the Knight of Cups. Okay, very nice. So there could be some good news coming here. There could be an invitation to share your knowledge in some way with this Knight of Cups. Share your expertise. There could be something where you're sharing your creative works, sharing your talents. I think it's interesting the Six of Cups is in your heart because that is a freedom energy. It's a gifting energy. It is an energy of the universe delivering all sorts of good things and bounty. And you feel like a little kid in a candy store type energy because good things are flowing in. But let's make no mistake, you have laid the ground for those good things to flow in. And this is interesting because, of course, Capricorn's your 10th house of career. We're getting this. This is also your second house of money, Taurus, and your 6th house of work, Virgo. So the King of Coins showing up here is interesting. Knight of Cups, there could be an important meeting with a banker, a financial advisor, a job interview, your boss, or a career professional, or somebody who can help you rise to the next level in your career. Of course, you could be the boss as well. But this is also what I'm feeling here. Like I said, I feel like there's some sort of invitation for you to share your expertise. This could be in a new thing that you're starting. Maybe you're going to start something that you've enjoyed since you were a kid, and you're going to start monetizing it. And you're going to start sharing it with the world with this Knight of Cups. So that's another way to look at this energy. But the Pisces, I mean, this is our Pisces energy. So you are getting a lot of emotional support, emotional kind of movement. It's like, moving forward. That's going to help you manifest coin. This is the thing with this King of Coins that is showing up here. So there's also, to me, a real connection with your own sense of emotional freedom and beginnings, and this sense of inspiration. So this is really, really nice. Yeah, I love this for you. This is very, very good. I'm just thinking if there's anything else really to discuss. I mean, well, just what I feel here is you're on the cusp. You are on the brink of initiating something new. You probably are going to decide by that Libra full moon. Mercury will have gone direct. or at least you'll be a little more emotionally tuned into maybe what this is. You may not initialize it till Mercury and Venus get back in your sign. I mean, that is possible. Venus is not going to get back in your sign, Aries, until April 30th. So it may be, this is Taurus energy, it may be May when you are moving full steam ahead on whatever this new initiative is that you're taking a leap of faith on. So it's the type of thing you could have a job interview this month, but it may not start till May, okay? Because remember, when Venus transits our own sign, it brings us gifts, goodies, blessings, opportunities. But you're laying the groundwork here this first half of April, definitely, with really tapping into this sense of adventure. And you may surprise yourself with some sort of risk you might be taking or setting yourself up for. Maybe you are emotionally accepting that you do need to put yourself out there in a new way. You do need to risk a little more. You need to maybe start something with a bit more passion and enthusiasm, because that is what's really going to attract a potential employer. Like if you're looking for a real job, a 9-to-5 or something like that. Or even if you're creating your own thing, it's much harder to monetize something when we're not that emotionally invested in it. So you really want to feel that sense of emotional investment in whatever it is that you are pursuing with your money and career life. And you are driven by a lightness of being, 6 of Cups in your heart, and in being in the flow of your energy, your creative energy, especially with these two energies, the Knight of Cups and the 6 of Cups. So make it concrete, make it happen, bring it into tangible form. That's also the King of Pentacles. So make a business plan, draw it up, make a vision board, start sketching out what this new income stream would look like. Start making those steps forward. You can always tweak it later, but it's like start getting something in some sort of tangible form. Make the phone calls, do the networking so you get the job interviews, go to the job fairs. It's like that type of energy. You're doing something that is, as I said, concrete. So this is very, very positive energy. Very nice for you, Aries. All right, Taurus, let's see what you need to know April 1st through the 15th for your money and career life. So you have Venus going retrograde in your 11th house. So there could be some very interesting opportunities from your networks, your friends, and the 11th house is also the house of personal gains. So if you have been waiting for a money payout, if somebody owes you money, or there's a tax refund, or there's just something you've been waiting on in terms of finances, it may finally, you may finally get it, I would say, by that full moon in Libra. So let's see. If you've been waiting for some piece of information about employment or a health matter, that also may be coming up around that full moon in Libra for you to help you be able to move forward and know, okay, this is what I need to invest my money in at this point. Like it's going to cost X amount of dollars for this, wellness visit, or X amount of dollars for this new thing I need for my work, or something like that. Okay. All right. Let's see. Because of course it's your ruling planet, Taurus, right? Venus, you'll have a very clear sense of direction when we have Venus going direct again. All right. Beautiful. So we have Ace of Cups and we have the Temperance. So there could be a beautiful offer from the universe. I'm going to say maybe a few days after the full moon, when the full moon goes into Sagittarius, which would be more like probably, I'd have to look at my calendar, like the 16th, 17th of April. But of course it could come sooner. But also what this is saying is that you are ready for a breath of fresh air. You are ready to receive all the blessings that the universe wants to bring you, and a fresh start in a new direction with your money and career life. So this is your 8th house of transformation, the Sag energy here. So you have been doing a lot of work on yourself to transform, to change, to roll with the energies of Uranus in your sign that has, as we've said on this channel before, encouraged you to make a fresh start, encouraged you. That's maybe a polite way of saying it. Was giving you a kick in the you-know-where to change things for yourself. But you're going to see the fruits of some sort of transformations you have been making in your life. but it's also to bring more balance back into your life. So there could be something here that's coming in that's going to help you balance your money, balance your time and money commitments with your career. Let's see what other cards we have, but this is very good. All right, we have a King of Wands in the heart of the situation. We have a 7 of Wands. And we have a 9 of Swords. Okay, sorry for the noises outside. All right, so what this is saying to me is you may be a little concerned that you're going to be going back to the old ways, or that somebody is going to suck you back into habits you don't want to be sucked back into. You know, this is our Mars energy, the 7 of Wands. This is Aries energy. So that's your 12th house of the subconscious. And sometimes, you know, karmic patterns or habits that are hard to let go of. But this is the card in your heart, the King of Wands. So what I'm feeling here is you are concerned about not repeating a situation. Okay, so over these first 2 weeks of April, you do not want to go backwards and repeat a situation. And that's what you're worried about, 9 of Swords. And as such, you are being very on point, very clear in your boundaries. 7 of Wands, King of Wands in your heart. Like you are standing up and fighting for yourself and saying, whether you're fighting, you know, and fighting's in quotes, of course, whether you're saying to yourself, you know, no, I'm going to draw a line in the sand for myself and hold myself to my word, and I am not going back there. Or you're doing this with another person in your life, or a work commitment or something else. Maybe there's somebody being demanding in your life. You are holding steady, and you are holding determined that you are not going back. So, and that's gonna solidify this opportunity, this Ace of Cups. So your emotions are really centered around yourself, your needs, and not going back to the past in some way. And that's so fitting for a Venus retrograde, especially in Pisces, which is a lot about the past kind of bubbling up to the surface again. So you're committed to your own financial goals, your own hopes and wishes and dreams with this Ace of Cups here, and also 11th house we're talking about. And I think because you are holding steady and not going back to a nightmare scenario, something beautiful is going to come in for you to replace whatever this was. So it could be the type of thing, because we're talking about your 8th house, which is other people's money. This Temperance is showing up here. Your 8th and 11th houses. Venus is in the 11th house for you in Pisces. So it can be that, you know, if we're talking about other people's money, you are not going to settle for less. You're not going to settle for less than. And 8th house to me can be about the money that an employer pays you or a potential employer. So it could be too, like you're not going to take the first lowball offer that somebody's trying to give you. You're going to hold out for what you want and what you deserve and what you've learned to deserve. So you're not settling. I think that's something, this is a theme that's going on here. And you're willing to continue the fight, so to speak, after the planets go direct and continue to act on what you want. Okay, but I think that full moon in Libra is going to be significant for you. Now, we will do a full moon in Libra video for all the signs, so stay tuned also for that. Subscribe so you don't miss that one either. But I think this is very good. There is a very powerful change on the way here for you with your money and career and your wishes for that. And you just need to just keep holding steady and doing what you're doing. And this new thing will pop in that's aligned for you. And it will bring more balance to your life. That's the other thing with this Temperance. All right, Gemini, let's see what you need to know. April 1st through the 15th, money and career life. So all of this energy with the Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde until April 7th, your ruling planet, all of it's happening in your 10th house of career. So there could be something where you're called back to a certain position. A former employer could get in contact with you. There could be an income stream or source from your past. There could be a surprise payment of a job that you did a long time ago you forgot about, or some sort of overtime they forgot to pay you. It could be something like that, and now it's like coming back around and they're going to pay you. So there can be some very interesting things possibly occurring with this energy. So let's see what you need to know. But it's significant that on April 7th, the same day that Venus retrograde in Pisces meets up with Saturn, your ruling planet goes direct. So you are rethinking some sort of probably major commitment in your career. And is this what you want to be doing? So let's see. But the reality, which is Saturn, the reality of the money, Saturn conjunct Venus retrograde, is maybe what's giving you pause to make a decision of moving on or not moving on or whatever you have going on. So let's see what we have. All right, so we have the moon. So we're coming up on a Libra full moon. And we have your energy. Okay. So you are perhaps going to be faced with some sort of decision around that Libra full moon in terms of which direction do I want to go in, because this is your energy. And this Libra full moon, of course, is your 5th house. It's the house of the entrepreneur. It's also the house of taking a risk and taking a chance. So you may be like, well, do I take a chance on this new old thing? The new, the old? Do I not do anything right now? Like, what do I do? But it needs to be something that you're feeling really aligned with. But this full moon could just be illuminating where you do need to take a little bit more of a risk in your career life and maybe commit to something different. Okay, it just depends on your personal situation. We will, of course, do a full moon in Libra video, so stay tuned for that. But just in terms of your money career life, this is what seems to be indicated. We have the Virgo showing up here. The 8 of coins is in your heart. So money is on your mind. I mean, you are focused on looking at your accounting books and asking yourself, like, is this going to work? Is whatever that I want to do actually going to pay me money that I need? Is it worth taking this financial risk? It could be something to do with your spending of your money. Is it worth taking this financial risk to buy this thing right now? Whatever it might be, a house, a car, a boat, whatever. Okay, so it could be that. Something for your home that you need because of the Virgo 4th house. Then we have the 2 of coins, and then we have the Ace of Swords. So you are going to be making up your mind, I think, at this Libra full moon. I personally think, of course, do what you want. I don't tell people what to do. But I think you're going to take a more measured approach. You're going to take a more balanced approach because you are going to look at something with the monies. Okay, and you may not want to spend that much money right now. Maybe you have 2 priorities and you need to make sure both are covered. So it can be something like that that's going on. The Ace of Swords here is about making a decision. It's about a decision, again, that aligns with your energy. The full moon in Libra is a fellow air sign. So I think you're going to have that clarity. It's about the balance. I don't think you want to go whole hog into committing to something big right now. And the same thing, you're still weighing options. This is the thing also with this 2 of coins. So let's say this is something that's coming up about a career decision, a major career decision, because your energy showing up here is the Lovers. You're still going to explore options. You're not going to make a move quite yet. That may be what you decide. You're still weighing what's important to you to decide about in order to move forward. And it could be too, because you want to make sure that you have enough resources, you have enough finances. There could be options that are presented to you on the table, but they're not paying enough. So that could be what's going on. And you're going to say, cut those loose and say, no, I'm holding out for what I really need. So it could be something like that, because the Virgo, it's not just your 4th house of home, it's also your financial foundation, and you want to make sure you're secure. And there could be home issues going on too, with the moon showing up here, which can relate to home. That you don't want to make a decision that's going to upset where you're living. Maybe you can't afford there anymore, or something like. You don't want to make a decision that's going to affect your financial home life and financial foundation. Like, maybe you're contemplating moving to a different apartment, a bigger apartment, but it's going to cost more money, or you're trying to buy a house, or whatever you're trying to do. You may be like, maybe I need to wait until things have settled a little bit. Maybe let me look at some other possible options. Maybe I don't need that apartment for whatever amount. Maybe I can get a different apartment over here if I just wait a little and see. So I feel like that's what's going on for you. There may be a wait and see type situation, because I feel like it's kind of like two things here. It's like Goldilocks looking for the exact right thing, which is this here, and not making something, try to fit that doesn't really fit and really reflect you, in other words. And I also just think that better options are going to be coming, is my feeling. So, and those options will probably present themselves in the second half of April and into May. And you still have Jupiter on your side until the beginning of June. So let's see what other opportunities Jupiter may open up for you as well. So I would say don't feel pressured into making a decision by this full moon either. Okay, it's okay to still explore and weigh your options. You will find the right thing. The Ace of Swords is indicative of that. You will find the thing that fits you. All right, Cancer, let's see what you need to know for your money and career life. April 1st through the 15th, we have Venus retrograde in your 9th house of expansion, travel, international business, internet businesses, academia. So let's see what you need to know. You could be rethinking and wanting to make a decision about committing to a travel opportunity, maybe an opportunity to learn something new. You're still evaluating options here. So let's see what you need to know. Cancer, money and career. All right, we have a 9 of Cups. We're talking about your 9th house, and here it is. 9th house water, 9 of Cups. And the 10 of Wands. Okay. So you would really like to shift some heaviness that's in your life. And the way that you want to do that is to expand into new things. You're wrapping up an energetic cycle where you haven't felt expansive. That's the thing too. So remember, retrogrades could be wrapping up a karmic situation because you're rethinking it, you're understanding it from a different perspective, and you're going to choose something different when the planet goes direct. So, you have a real wish to expand your life, expand your horizons, do new things, learn new things, start new things, whatever they may be. They could be 9th house related, but just the main point of expansion and growth that fuels your energy. This is your energy too, the Cups, that makes you feel happy and alive. Not this constant burden of, oh my God, like life is so hard. No, you are wanting to really shift out of that. You're wrapping up that cycle. And we have a King of Coins in your heart. Beautiful. 8 of Wands. Gorgeous. And a 7 of Wands. Okay. All right. So this is very interesting. I think that in your heart, like you are ready for some concrete commitments. This King of Coins. You're ready to put your money where your mouth is, so to speak. You are ready to sign on the dotted line and commit to something that is, as I said, going to expand your horizons. We have the Leo energy showing up here. This is your 2nd house of money. So that's what I'm saying. I think you're ready to invest some money into something that will help you grow and prosper, whatever that might be for you. It could be like a class, because of course this energy is happening in your 9th house, which is about learning and classes and things like that. It could be you just are going to put your money where your mouth is and get a new computer finally, or some other type of tool that uses the internet, because that's the 9th house, to help you grow, learn, do something with your business or whatever it might be. The 8 of Wands, though, is, as I said, you're Leo. It's your 2nd house of money. But it's also like, you're like, I deserve this. Like, I need something proper to do what I want to do. Now, this 7 of Wands is interesting. This is our Mars energy. Mars has been in your sign like freaking forever. It's finally going to get out like toward the end of April. Finally. No offense. It's not anything personal to you. It's just that Mars is not comfortable in your sign. And it will be, I think, a sigh of relief for all of us to have it go into Leo, just because it's been moody, broody, and angsty, and a little fussy and frustrated Mars in your sign. Okay, again, it's not about you and your sign personally, it's just Mars's energy. So it could be here with the Seven of Wands that you're feeling a little still feisty and like, this is what I want to do. So you could be kind of laying down the law with somebody in your environment, and letting them know, no, this is my decision. This is my money. This is my priority. This is what I'm doing. Now, of course, you're going to probably do it in a nicer way than the way I just said it, which was very Aries, right? It was very Mars, how I just expressed it. But it's more like you just need to stand in your power. I mean, there's the guy with the wand. You're just going to stand in your power. And you'll be like, no, this is what I'm doing. There could be a lot of different options. The other thing I would say too is, you know how it is sometimes you sign up for one thing on like an email list, like you're interested in something, and then you get bombarded with like 50 bazillion emails trying to sell you this course, that course, the other course, this thing, that thing, the other thing. And so it might be something like that too, or all of a sudden there's going to be a lot of things coming at you and you may be like, how did I even get on this mailing list? Unsubscribe. Like it could be something like that, which is the Seven of Wands, but it could just be something more personal in your world where somebody's trying to tell you something and you're like, no, I'm sticking to my guns. This is what I am doing. Because of course, Mars and the retrograde that he's had in your sign and being in your sign for so long, it has been stirring up a lot of stuff within you to help you process through a lot of emotions, a lot of energy. Mars is about how we use our energy. And where do you want to point Mars's arrow of desire and move forward in your life and take action on something? So you do know what that is. You know, you want to do something that maybe will help you build something for the long term that you can grow and expand into. That's this ninth house. So you will have different options. You may, all of a sudden, they may start coming out of the woodwork very fast with this Eight of Wands. But you could discover something of value in these next 2 weeks that you do want to invest in. The full moon is in Libra, your fourth house of home, family roots, and your emotional and financial foundation. So I think by that full moon, you really want to know, yeah, this is where I really kind of want to start building next. This is the foundation I want to build in my life next that is going to help me grow. Okay. So we will do a full moon video, of course. So stay tuned for that. But I think this is overall very positive. Like, you don't want to be burdened by this Ten of Wands and feeling so weighed down. You want to pursue things that you enjoy, Nine of Cups. And you will do so by investing your energy and time and maybe a little money. And you want something that, kind of really makes you feel good, because this is your second house of self-worth also. So this is not just about doing something for the sake of doing it. This is also, I want this to enhance how I feel about myself. I'm investing in myself by doing this, And so that's why we have this over here, like, back off. This is for me. I'm doing this for myself. So, because you're building a whole new world for yourself. This is this ninth house. So, and because we're talking about Venus, it could be also some sort of, business thing, obviously, reinvesting your energy and time into building something for a business if you have one, or starting a business if you want to. But it can also be some sort of artistic talent. That is Venus. Artistic or musical talent or creative talent that has been stirring within you and saying, hey, like, let's start expanding this into our life again. Let's start bringing this into our light and our life again. So it could also be that. All right, Leos, Venus retrograding in your 8th house of transformation, other people's money, debts, inheritances, refinancing, mortgages. So with Venus retrograde, it's about things coming back around again. Mercury's retrograde also until April 7th in this same 8th house. So there could be, something coming back that you need to review a document for your taxes. That's what's happening in the United States right now, right? Big tax deadline, April 15th. You could be reviewing some sort of refinancing paperwork, reviewing paperwork to consolidate debts, reviewing paperwork to do XYZ with other people's money, finances, that type of thing. You could be reviewing hospital bills, medical bills, things of that nature. So let's see what we have going on here for you with your money. There could also be, I mean, 8th house for me, because it's other people's money. For me, other people's money is also your employer. You get money from them. It's their money. They give it to you because you do a job. So there could be some news about coming from your employer that's possible. Maybe, you know, again, something connected to the past because Venus is retrograde. Maybe they forgot to pay you something, or there's a retroactive pay raise, or retroactive pay is coming back that you should have had before, or something was miscalculated in your paycheck and they're giving you the money. It could, you know, it could be anything like that. Okay, let's see what we need to know, Leos. And of course, the full moon is happening in Libra, which is your house of contracts, communications, paperwork, and negotiations. So that's happening April 12th. So it could be connected, all of it together. Let's see. Oh, 7 of Wands again, and I shuffled. Oops. And we have a Judgment. Okay. So you've been kind of waiting for some sort of decision. You're like, are they ever going to get back to me? Like, what in the heck is going on? And you're getting a little antsy about it. You know, 7 of Wands, like, they're ready to, like, you know, fight you. So you're kind of like, I'm on my last nerve here, people. Like, where's the news? The news is coming. Here it is. So within this 2 weeks, if we look at the 2 that shows up in the Judgment card, the 2-0, the 2, you will get the information, probably at that full moon, but let's keep pulling some cards. Yeah, so we have a 10 of Swords in your heart. We have the 7 of Cups. And we have the Ace of Cups. Okay, so all's well that ends well. Bobby's going over by the thing. I don't know what he thinks he can do. He's so chubby, like he can't even fit on that. Okay. So I feel like this 10 of Swords in your heart is still this situation here. Mentally, you just want to be released from this. And you will be, because there may have been some worry about it. But all's well that ends well is what I feel over here. So your imagination, the 7 of Cups, has been getting the better of you with this. I would say, you know, you're frustrated, you got ants in your pants, you're feeling like your imagination's running away with you. Wait until you get the information. And, you know, I do this too. Kind of like, we just get in that loop, right? Oh my God, this, that, the other thing, okay? But that's not serving you. But what I also feel here with this 10 of Swords is that with this back up against the wall energy, this news will free you. You will know one way or the other where the chips are falling or where the pentacles are falling with other people's money. Ace of Cups should be good. Okay? It should be. It should be, I feel like, an emotional sigh of relief and release. Ah, I can breathe again. Ah, okay. I can handle this. I can deal with this. This is fine. Okay? So keep an eye on this energy is what I would say. And, you know, it's only normal. We've had a lot of rough energies these last couple of weeks. It's only normal if you're feeling this way. Don't beat yourself up over it, you know, but also know that this too shall pass. Don't make it worse with your own mindset and your own imagination. You know, and just stay focused on what you want to hear that will lift your spirits. Okay. So, and I do think there could be something favorable. So let us see. Okay. But, you know, remember what we focus on expands. And the more we focus on a 10 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 7 of Cups scenario, the more we get that in our brain, the more that just keeps building and building. So focus on this instead. You know, aces for me are about the self. This is the cups. So this is our emotions. What kind of emotional change or sigh of relief would you like to manifest with this other people's money situation? Keep your mind focused on that and let's manifest that and make it happen for you. Let me know in the comments how you're going to do that, Leo, and what that is, and we will support you there. All right, Virgos. So we have a full moon in Libra, your second house of money, on April 12th. We will do a separate full moon video on that. But I think it's really tied in with this reading also, because Venus retrograde is happening in your seventh house of other people, as is Mercury retrograde. And Saturn's there as well. So I think you're waiting for news from someone else about your money life. This could be, am I getting the job? Did I get the promotion? Did they approve my bank loan? Did they do this? Did they do that? Like, seventh house, other people. Other people hold the cards right now. Other people have information, news, support, money, whatever that you're waiting to hear about, that you want to know. So let's see. Things are going to become clear by that full moon. All right, so let's see what you need to know in the meantime. Stay tuned for that full moon video. Definitely going to want to check that one out. All right, let's see. Virgos. There you are, a Virgo. Oh, and we have a 10 of Cups. Okay, very nice. So this could have something to do with your home and family. Like, you're waiting for money news that will have something to do with where you're living, how you're living, and who you're living with. It could also be your money news your partner is waiting for, if you have one. Or it could be money news in regards to a business partner also, because seventh house is partners, both business and personal. And that's where this energy is happening. So it could be something like that as well. But I also always say with the 10 of Cups, not everybody has a partner. Not everybody has a family. It could be just you and your cat. So this could be, you're really waiting for that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow news. Your ultimate personal happiness in regards to your money and career. And you're keeping the candle lit in this lantern. Like, you're tending that flame. You are focused, and you are really focusing your mental energy on manifesting this for yourself. So that's very good. I feel like your vibration is really tuned into what you want this to be. That's excellent. All right, what else do we have? But you're a little tired. 9 of Wands. You're probably tired of waiting, because this is, it's brewing. Yeah, this is the waiting card, Knight of Coins. It's coming. Oh, here we go. 2 of Swords. I can't end on a 2 of Swords. Now we have an Ace of Swords. Okay, that makes me feel better. All right, so we got the Libra energy showing up here. We got the 2 of Swords, so probably the end of the second week of April, which is what this reading is, April 1st to the 15th. But also I feel like this is you making up your mind as well. There could be an option that gets presented that you didn't even know about. There could be an alternative option. There could be an option that the person who we're hoping to hear from, you think they're going to answer what you had requested, but actually they offer something different, or they suggest an alternative. And that may throw you for a loop a little bit, because you weren't expecting that. But it's not a bad loop. I mean, you're going to make a decision one way or the other, and something's going to work out for you. This is victory and success. It will work out for you. But you do have a decision to make about something that may come to light, come to fruition, come out in a different way, Knight of Coins. Because this has taken a while to progress. It's given it time for something else to maybe come in as an alternative. Okay, so I hope I'm making sense here. That you didn't envision. So, but that's okay. It could be better. And it could be better for your long-term future growth with whatever this is that you're waiting to hear in your money and career life. 9 of Wands, like I said, this is your energy, of course, a 9, but this is just you, like, come on, universe, hello, like, how much longer do I have to hang in there until I hear, but it's coming. I mean, this is slow. This has been going on for a while. I mean, it's possible that this even goes back to your birthday season, whatever this is, that is finally maybe going to get an answer. It could also go back to your full moon lunar eclipse, March 15th. That's also possible. But it could go back longer than that. Could go back to September of 2024. So I think this looks very good. 10 of Cups and an Ace of Swords. Very, very nice. So What is this? What is this that you have been working on, Virgo? Let us know in the comments. We will support you with good vibes and hearts and all the things. Okay, but you know, what decision do you think that you're going to be making for yourself? Let me know. Or leave me a little rainbow here or a pot of gold to let me know that you're going to receive this when this comes in for you. Let me know in the comments. Libras, these first 2 weeks of April could be really, really important for you because we, of course, have your ruling planet, Venus, retrograde. And it's happening in your 6th house of work and well-being. And we have your personal full moon happening. So this is big. You could be on the brink of making some major decisions about your career, your money life, and your well-being in terms of the money you're spending on your well-being, like investing in health regimens, gyms, doctors, appointments, you know, things that support your healing and health well-being. And maybe revisiting a certain health regimen or investing your money in that worked for you before. It could be because, again, Venus is retrograde in that 6th house of work and well-being for you. Somebody you worked for before could be calling you up and saying, hey, Libra, can you help me out with this? We'd love to have you back on board. There could be something going on at your current work that comes back around again, like discussions about overtime or extra shifts or promotions or whatever. Like there could be something in the workplace that resurfaces that could affect your money life. So you will know by your full moon. And of course, Mercury goes direct on the same day of Venus meeting up with Saturn and making some sort of commitment and decision, or some piece of information comes in that helps you make that decision and that commitment. Okay, so April 7th may be important for you as well. So let's see what you need to know, Libras. Libra. Oh, we have victory and success. Okay, I like that. And we have a hanging man. Excuse me. All right, so we're talking about your 6th house. Here it's showing up, the number 6. We have the Pisces. We are talking about your 6th house Pisces. So that's interesting. So there's something here, you know, the 6 of Wands is victory and success, but it's about returning. It's about returning with your head held high. So you may be waiting to hear about returning back to something, back to an income stream, back to a job, back to a doctor, maybe you're waiting for an opening in their schedule, that type of thing. So there could be good news coming that you are returning, you are reconnecting. You've been waiting. You could have been waiting for 12 weeks. You could have been waiting for a year for something to come back around in this area of your life. Okay, so let's see what else we have for you. Oh, gorgeous. Look at in your heart is the star. Awesome. The 6 of Cups, another number 6. And the more Pisces, the Queen of Cups. So we have a beautiful emotional resonance going on here. We have healing with the Star card. We have emotional connection and happiness. The 6 of Cups, you know, can be gifts from the universe, but it can also just be a lighthearted lightening of the load of your heart space, of you just feeling a sense of relief and release and lightness of being. You know, kids, they don't usually have worries and problems, usually, you know. So that's gorgeous. And this beautiful Queen of Cups here, you're starting a whole new emotional cycle as well with this full moon that's happening in your sign. Stay tuned for that video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. But there also could be this presence in your life. This could be somebody at your workplace. This could be a doctor or a healer, some sort of medical professional, you know, somebody who does have your best interests at heart and is going to say, Libra, you know, stick with me. I will guide you through this and help you. So they could be, you know, a recruiter helping you get a new job, etc. and so on. Maybe it's your boss who's like, don't worry, you know, we'll work something out. We'll try to get you some extra hours or whatever. Like whatever you got going on here, there is a beautiful presence in your life that wants to make the path clear for you and easier for you. So I think that's very nice. And of course, this is our Aquarius. This is your 5th house. And And Pluto is there now, as we know. So the fifth house is your heart space. It's your heart energy. So if you've been going through something where you've been feeling a little sad or lonely or like just disconnected from your work, or this is not medical advice. I'm not a doctor, obviously. This is just for entertainment purposes only, but if this has something to do with your heart and you've been waiting to hear, you could finally feel like you're on the right path to healing your heart in some way. Okay, like you're finally connecting with the right doctor. And, sometimes, again, the mind-body connection with heart stuff can be, this is just in general, this is not medical diagnosis or advice. Let me just keep saying that because it's just for entertainment purposes only. But the heart has a lot to do with our joy. And when we are feeling joyful and lighter, it eases the pressure on our heart. So literally and figuratively, obviously. So there could be something here where, again, like that's what's happening for you because you're meeting the right person. But you finally get, because you've been waiting for a while with the retrograde, finally you get into that doctor's office, or you get in to talk to your boss and say, hey, I need help doing XYZ, and you don't feel all that pressure on you in that sixth house of work, or I need a transfer away from these nasty coworkers. I can't take it anymore. Whatever. Like there's something here where you're gonna find a solution that will help you move toward victory and success with whatever you have going on in this sixth house for you. And that's excellent. But there is likely a feminine energy that is nurturing and kind and would like to help you, Libra. But they also need to know that you would like that help. All right, Scorpio, let's see what you need to know about your money career life. April 1st through the 15th, we have Venus retrograde in your fifth house of taking a risk, taking a chance. So you could be rethinking risks with your money and career life. Do you want to make a big leap or a big change? Fifth house is also the house of the entrepreneur. So if you are an entrepreneur, have your own side hustle, your own business, whatever the case may be, you could be like, do I want to start that income stream? Do I need to make some tweaks over here to what I'm doing? And of course, the fifth house is our house also of creativity. So some of you are rethinking, do you want to keep investing in a creative project or doing something different or changing it up in order to monetize it better? So all of those things are possibilities. Let's see what you need to know, Scorpio. We have the wheel, Jupiter energy, and the Four of Coins. Okay, that's interesting. So the wheel can be an energy of divine timing. It can be an energy of taking a leap of faith, a risk, of course, because it's the wheel. And it is about the universe bringing in something that might at first look a little risky, something to get you to expand and get out of a comfort zone. We have the Leo energy, of course, here, which is your 10th house of career. We have the Four of Coins, which is about financial stability and holding on to what you have. So there may be, you're rethinking, as I said, like some sort of risk, like leaping and taking a new opportunity that might come in. But we don't know how that might pan out, and you don't want to give up something that is secure. So it may be those types of energies that are going on for you. But let's see. Let's pull a few more cards and see. Jupiter, of course, is in your 8th house, Gemini, of other people's money. So you may not want to take a risk and upset the apple cart with other people paying you, as an example. Like maybe you have a steady Eddie job and you are getting paid and it's decent. So you're like, is it really the right time? Timing's always the wheel, like right time for me to take a risk on this opportunity. That maybe it's something coming back around again that you thought wasn't going to happen. And you're like, is the second time around really the charm? I'm not sure what to do. Yeah, you're not sure what to do. I pull a Two of Swords in your heart. And there's your energy. And we have a Two of Cups. Okay. I think this is going to get more clear to you when Jupiter goes into Cancer, honestly, which is happening in June. I think that, retrogrades are times for reflection and rethinking. And just because the planet goes direct doesn't necessarily mean you have to act on some new choice. You can be like, well, I thought about this and actually I don't want to make any change or decision at the moment. But maybe 2 months from now, I will be in a very different mindset and a very different place. And I will be ready to have that job interview, that negotiation, that discussion with somebody that will take my life in a new direction. So that's kind of what I am feeling here. Scorpio. If we just look at the 5th house as the risk-taking house, things are okay. So you don't want to upset things and change things necessarily at the moment. But by the same token, you do realize that you do need to grow and expand. But for whatever reason, the timing may not be right for this moment to be doing that. Maybe there's other things going on, or you just haven't nailed down a concept yet of what you want that expansion to look like. Like if you have your own business and you want to add, other things to your product line or other services. And you need to do that to grow and expand, but it's just the concept isn't there yet. But what you are doing is making money. So it's kind of like these mix of energies here. But it's good. It will become clear for you. And Jupiter, when it goes into Cancer, will be your 9th house of expansion, of growth, of new things, of possibly new commitments in internet businesses, in travel, in reaching a wider audience, that type of thing, that 9th house. So that's what I say. I would say here is give yourself the grace of it's okay to table a decision for now. It doesn't mean forever. It just means for now. And something else, the universe will bring some discussion, person, meeting, or situation around for you, maybe in 2 months' time. So early June, which is when Jupiter goes into Cancer, that will move you in a different direction that might be more aligned for you. Sagittarius, Venus retrograde in your 4th house of your financial foundation, and of course your home and family, where you're living, how you're living, who you're living with. So there could be some financial, issues related to home and family that are coming back around again for some decisions, some rethinking. Mercury will go direct April 7th. You may have some information come in around that time or after that. Full moon in Libra, your 11th house. We will do a separate full moon video, but that is about personal gains and, of course, hopes, wishes, and dreams, networks, and contacts. So there could be a contact from your past, maybe around the full moon in Libra, who helps you renegotiate something to do with your home, like a mortgage, or helps you out with, finding a new lease, a new apartment to live in, or, something like that. Maybe refinancing, financing for your house, move, furniture, things you need for your house, repairs. It can be those types of things. But it could be the type of thing where, let's say you need to make a repair on your home. And we all know those things are very expensive. It could be that a friend, full moon in Libra, knows somebody who's really good and very fair and reasonable. So it could be like they put you in contact with that person, problem solved, and it works out financially for you. So it could be something like that. I always say apply the energies to your life. But let's see what the energies have to say here for you. Sag. All right, so we have a 2 of coins. And we have some Capricorn. We have your 2nd house of money showing up here. And this technically is also Capricorn for you, our Pentacles, which is Capricorn, and it's the number 2. So 2nd house of money, Capricorn, twice. 10 of coins in your heart, the Page of Wands, and the Knight of Swords. Okay, so I think that full moon in Libra is going to be important. You're waiting for a piece of information that's going to solve a money problem. I don't think you would have the 10 of coins in your heart if that was not the result. I mean, that is your desire, of course, it's in your heart. But we have news coming in that you can take action on. So I think there could be some very favorable money news coming for you around the Libra full moon after Venus goes direct. So right at that, the very tail end of this 2-week forecast period. Right now, what we have going on with the Two of Coins and this Devil is like you're just kind of status quoing it. Like your head's above water, but just about. This Two of Coins, like you're balancing things. I always say with the Two of Coins, when it's like money problems, it's like, you pay this bill at this point in the month, so you pay a certain amount, so you still have money to pay this other bill over here. And it's like this kind of cycle of timing that you work with, like a timing chain on a bicycle, where it's kind of ebbing and flowing. You're still covering what you need to cover, but it's also, you're not paying the full amount. I hope I'm making sense. Can you tell I've done this in my life? Yes. When I was in my 20s, for sure. It's like, okay, I know I can pay this electric bill at this time, but also this bill for the car insurance is due. How do I pay a little here, but also here? And so I still have both of them. It's that type of thing, that cycle. You're kind of in and out. And it's become tiring and depressing, the Devil card. That I think is going to change for you. This Knight of Swords news, Page of Wands, we're going to get started on some sort of money solution is what I am feeling. So I feel like I want to pull one more card for you guys. So let's do that. But that's what I think. Because obviously the Ten of Coins is real estate. It's long-term financial situation. And actually the Ten of Coins is also a Capricorn energy for me when I read tarot. So you have triple Capricorn energy in this reading, which is your second house of money. So it's like you really want to get this money problem solved in regards to where you're living, how you're living, who you're living with. Your financial foundation needs to be secure, which the first thing you need for your foundation is money to pay for shelter. The rest can figure itself out. If you don't have a roof over your head, you're in trouble, as we know. So that's what I think is going on here. All right, let's see. Saggies. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Sun card. I think there's going to be some sort of solution, problem solved with a family money issue. That is what I am feeling. Now, of course, the fourth house could be other things. Venus, we're talking Venus is not just money, but of course, this is a money career reading. But for those of you who have been having struggles and imbalances with somebody in the family, possibly a child, possibly, where maybe they have a lot of problems, maybe they're out of balance for whatever reason, like their emotional balance maybe is a little off, maybe they need a lot of attention. They just could have some issues, the Devil, they could just have some issues going on with them. It could be too that this energy helps get it sorted out. It could be too that the money comes in so you could pay for a therapist or some other health counselor or something like that. So I think there will be a solution, because this is kid energy too. There will be some sort of solution that will shed light on maybe a kid health concern that will help solve a problem, like to have the money to pay for it. So let's see. But I like this as our last energy here for you, Sagittarius. Capricorn, Venus retrograde in your third house of writing, speaking, teaching, networking, sales, your mindset, your communications, and contracts, perhaps, maybe even transportation. So important that you get your car serviced, pay, for the upkeep. I just took my car in for an oil change and a little inspection the other day, working with the energies. I always say that, right? But we're talking about your money and career life. So you may be spending some money on rehabbing, refurbishing, transportation things like your car, a motorcycle, bicycle, whatever you use for transportation. But you could also be tweaking your creative projects. And also you could be going over financial contracts, especially buying and selling things, commerce, the marketplace. If you have your own business and you sell things at festivals, fairs, if you sell online, if, whatever you're doing, you could also be rethinking your product line, your ideas for things. If you sell writing or some other types of communication products, PDFs, books, whatever, you could be tweaking the design on those things. You could be rewriting, but Venus is more about the monetization of them. But Mercury's retrograde now too until the 7th. And Venus and Saturn, your ruling planet, will be conjunct on April 7th. So it could be like, how do I rethink my product line for the best long-term success? Your ruling planet, Saturn, or that represents me the best and has my energy in it so that it would sell more. So there could be things like that going on for you. But basically, this is about your mindset and maybe rethinking some financial commitments and decisions over these next 2 weeks. Now, the full moon in Libra, your 10th house of career, will be happening on April 12th. So it could be things like that you're rethinking as well. Like, do I want to keep doing this every day? That's the 3rd house for my career. Do I want to keep having this commute? Like, we know a lot of people have gotten called back to the office. Like, do I want to keep doing this or do I want to do something else? So those decisions, because your 3rd house is being activated of commuting, it's transportation. You could be like, I'm not doing this anymore. And maybe you're going to rethink and readjust and try to figure out, well, how can I still work from home? So there could be things like that also going on for you. So let's see. I try to give as many possibilities as I can, but as I always say, you have to apply the energies to your life. And you want to make sure you're subscribed, hit the bell, all the things so that you don't miss the full moon in Libra video, which I will be doing. And of course, our 2nd half of April money career reading as well. Capricorn, a 4 of coins for you. Whoops. And the 10 of wands. Okay. So you're working hard for the money. Definitely. So we have our Taurus energy here. But this is, holding on to your money. It's the financial stability card. But you are working hard for it. And there is something going on here that you're wondering if you're carrying too much, or you are wanting to wrap up a certain energetic cycle with whatever has been earning you money. It's more like the investment of your energy you want to wrap up. It's too much, or it's gotten to be too much, or something like that. Or you just don't want to do it anymore. I mean, whatever it might be. So you could be rethinking how much you're carrying. It could be, Capricorns are not afraid of hard work. But it could be, I'm spreading myself too thin, 10 of wands. I'm trying to do too many things to make money and monetize. And yeah, it's happening. But if I want to get to my 10 of coins, maybe I need to be more strategic and rethink what I'm focusing in on, what my mind is choosing. And maybe I go down to 3 income streams that I could really pour all my energy into. And the other ones, whatever. So it could be something like that also. So we'll have to see. But this can also be like, I don't want the burden of driving to an office when I was working from home. All right, the Lovers, your 6th house of work, Gemini, in your heart. So choices here. Capricorn. All right, let's see what else. Yeah, you're tired. 9 of wands. Interesting. And the Knight of coins. Okay, so this is about what you want longer term also. I don't think, all right, let me back it up. Just because a planet is retrograde, it is a time to rethink. That's what retrogrades can really help us do. Rethink, recalibrate. And yes, sometimes when you make a decision with that information after the planet immediately goes direct again. Okay, sure. But sometimes you need to sit with that a little bit. This is what I honestly feel. I think that this retrograde period has brought you to the realization that you are at the end of some sort of energetic cycle. You're like, your mind, which is the 3rd house, which is what we're talking about, your mind has wrapped itself around this concept that something does need to change because this and this is unsustainable. And you do have passions and things you want to do. You do have a lot of fire, passion, and energy for your career and the things you want to create. But there's an aspect of it, like a commute or just not enough focus, just too many things you're trying to do or that they're heaping on your plate, that it's unsustainable in some way. This Knight of Coins suggests you will figure this out over time. Like this could be when you figure it out in Taurus season, you could also figure it out in Gemini season. Or maybe you figure it out in Taurus season and you start implementing a plan and then you make that final decision in Gemini season. Okay, end of May. So I think May is going to be important for you with this energy. And, that's how it is sometimes, with this particular thing. But I do think it's something very, of course, this is a general reading. It's something very specific to your circumstances. And as I said, it's your mind, third house, that is understanding that that specific situation, circumstance, scenario cannot continue over the long term. Maybe for the short term and through May, but then something's got to give. And so it's like more the timing of that and making that decision. So that's what I think is going on here for you, Capricorn. But your heart is good. Your heart is the Lovers, and it's your 6th house of work and what you're doing on the daily. Your 3rd house activated, your daily habits and routines, same thing, 6th house. Your daily work environment and what you're showing up to do every day. So in other words, I don't think it's necessarily the money maybe is the issue. It could be, but it's something else. And that's the thing to figure out during the Venus retrograde. All right, Aquarius. So Venus is retrograde in your 2nd house of show me the money. Mercury is also retrograde there. Saturn's there. The North Node is there. There's a lot of things happening in your 2nd house of money. One thing I will say with this energy, and especially as we approach the full moon in Libra, which is your 9th house of the world and the internet. This is, of course, just a general reading, but Mercury and Venus, internet, really check your accounts. Be very, very careful of clicking on links, scammers, weird text messages from your bank that look legitimate. I mean, these things can happen when you have a Venus and Mercury retrograde in your 2nd house and a full moon happening in your 9th house of the internet. There could be some weird things and you don't want to have to deal with that. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Just be on the alert for that. That's just good advice. But you are probably rethinking some sort of ways in which you want to continue to expand and invest in something or not. Is this going to, fuel my growth, or is it going to keep me stuck into status quo? You may be wondering, because 2nd house is also self-worth and self-esteem. So Aquarius, you may be thinking, well, does this really suit who I am becoming? Like, is this making me feel good about what I'm doing, or is it draining my energy? So it could be things like that are also going on for you. So remember, retrogrades are times of rethinking and reevaluating. We often want to make the decisions after the planets go direct. But we need retrogrades. It's important to rethink and recalibrate and slow down, which is what retrogrades can do. It's just that sometimes retrogrades last too long for our taste. And we're like, is it done yet? So it can be that. All right, let's see, Aquarius. Let's see what you need to know here. All right, we have a 4 of coins. This card's been coming up a lot today. And we have a Queen of coins. Okay. So Pentacles for me are about self-worth and self-esteem. It's not just about the money. But you are focused on what's going to make me feel financially secure. But of course, our security starts from within. It starts with ourselves. Like, how secure are you feeling? Are you feeling like the king or queen of your domain, your energy? Do you feel like you're in the manifestation zone? Are you manifesting from a place of solidarity? This Taurus. Now, this Taurus energy is your 4th house of financial foundation. So, but as I said, I think our financial foundation, a lot of it has to do with how we feel about ourselves. Of course, there's other things, but, just in general. So there could be some things going on here. As I said, because all of this energy is happening in your 2nd house of self-worth, you're like, I do deserve this. Am I ready for this? So you could be rethinking and questioning, are you ready to take a leap of faith and do something different? Are you ready for this new financial goal you want to focus in on and manifest? Is that going to bring the money that you need for your, to pay your basic foundational expenses in life, your rent, your mortgage, your gas, etc., the expenses of life, food. So all of these things may be in play for you. Let's see. See what else we have. In your heart is the wheel. Okay. You're ready to take a risk and a chance on yourself. Five of Wands. Maybe not. No, you are. The Page of Cups. There's our Pisces. Okay, here's the thing. The wheel moves very fast, but so does a Five of Wands, except the energy's all over the place. The energy is discombobulated. That's one of my favorite words. That and percolate, my two favorite words. So this is like all over the place. I call it spinning your wheels. And here's our wheel. So, and the sirens are going off as a warning. This Five of Wands, it looks like in this card deck, they're trying to build a ladder, the ladder of success, a ladder to climb out of a pit, climb out of a situation, go to the next level, ascend. But this combo here is like I said, spinning your wheels. It's spinning your wheels. There, in my opinion, I would suggest that you get some sort of focused plan. You have, and that's what the retrogrades can help with. The Mercury retrograde, rethinking. The Venus retrograde, well, how is this going to look on paper practically with the money? Like, how's this going to work? But instead of spinning your wheels of all the possible things that could happen, not happen, this, that, the other thing, focus on the concrete, like what is so. I hope I'm making sense. It's like, what is the reality? This is the Queen of Coins. What is the financial realities? What do you need? Like, write down all the expenses that you have. Like, what is the minimum thing you must have every month to pay your bills before you start taking a leap of faith and changing up your whole job, your career, you're moving cross country, you're, doing whatever, starting a business, but you leave a job and then you have no money, which I always say, do not do that. Your heart is pure. Like, you are going to have a new beginning for yourself. This Page of Cups is our Pisces energy. You're going to have a financial new beginning. And you want this very badly, this wheel. Jupiter is in Gemini. It's in your 5th house of the entrepreneur, of taking a risk. But wait till Jupiter goes into your 6th house, is my opinion, which is Cancer, your house of work and well-being. Sit with your emotions, sit with the concrete plan. The divine timing will guide you out of this kind of frenzy of all this speculation. That's what I feel like. This is speculation of this could happen, that could happen, da, 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 da. Center and calm, make the concrete plan is what I feel. Okay, and this is Pisces, but it's a water energy, Cancer energy, allow the universe also to surprise you with a piece of information that could get the ball rolling for you. There is going to be some sort of little bit of serendipity that comes in. That's what these two energies are. This is more like, again, all over the place, but could be I'm trying to force something, where this is like, just trust in the timing and the right thing will serendipitously appear. So, but again, make a list, make a plan, do a business plan, do a possible projection of the type of money you want to make. Start researching if you want to move. I mean, that could be the wheel too. Like, start looking for apartments or houses where you want to move to. What's the job market there? The concrete information, instead of going down a rabbit hole of what ifs, which is that Five of Wands. And Pisces, let's see what you need to know. How have you been doing? Let me know in the comments with all of this energy in your sign. I'm sure it's been a lot. We have the North Node. We have, Saturn. We've had Mercury, Venus. We've had Neptune, but now Neptune's in Aries. So your ruling planet has moved into your 2nd house of money. But that will be also a video upcoming. So make sure you subscribe for that video, the full moon in Libra video, and our second half of April money career video also. All right. All right, but this energy is happening, this Venus retrograde, this first half of April energy is happening in your first house of yourself, your identity, your physical body. So you be really rethinking your values. That is also Venus, your values, what matters to you, and what decisions are you rethinking about how you invest your time, money, and energy? Does it reflect, do those actions and investments reflect your values? Okay, so let's see what we have. We have an Ace of Swords. Okay. We have a Queen of Coins. We have a King of Wands in your heart. We have a Seven of Wands. And we have your energy. Wow. I feel like you're becoming emboldened. Like all this activation, this new moon solar eclipse in Aries. Check out that video if you haven't already. That happened. You have a video just for you on my channel. That happened in your second house of money. That was a powerhouse reading that came out for you. So we just had that activating, and that's what I'm feeling is going on here. And then we end with your energy, this King of Cups. I feel like you're really making a very important decision about self-empowerment and what you want to focus in on for your personal goals that make you feel good, but that also will build your bank account as well. This King of Wands in your heart and this Seven of Wands, this is Mars energy. This is, as I said, the Aries. This is your second house of money. So you're putting in firm boundaries. You're standing on business here with the Seven of Wands. There you are. You're also, the thing I think is interesting about Aries, it's not just Aquarius that's a quirky, individualistic sign. It's also Aries. Aries likes to be first. Aries is the pioneer. They are very different. Aries are cut out of a different cloth. And so are you when it comes to your money. Like, you do want financial independence. You want to stand on business, call your own shots, and, move in a different direction, a more independent direction, or a different direction than what other people do. Something a little maybe unconventional where you are the leader, you are the pioneer in how you're earning your money. And what you value, like you're willing to stand up for your values. You're willing to work for your values and stand up for your values. And I feel like this is going on, like this is emboldened energy. And this is what we have here. So I think what this retrograde is doing is just a check-in, a Piscean check-in, because it's all happening in your sign. Are you still okay with this? Do you need to change anything about the plan? That's all. That's what retrogrades are for. It's the rethinking, recalibrating, rechecking, reviewing, just to make sure. So that's what I think is going on here for you. You're going to have that clarity. You're striving for that clarity. You're checking in with your second house energy. Is this still how you want to proceed? And you're like, yep, here I go. Here I go. Because some of you, yes, you might be moving in a different direction. Maybe that energy got activated for you on March 29th at the new moon solar eclipse in Aries, where you're like, wait, hold up. I need to do something different. This isn't working. So you could have decided then, and now you're like, I'm going to focus on something else. Let me start tweaking this plan. And then you're like, here I go. Okay. So this is very empowering. That is what I am feeling from these energies. Super empowering. And we have a full moon in Libra. I will do a video on that. And that is your 8th house of resources, other people's money, and transformation. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're really in the thick of transforming how you're thinking about your money, what you want to do to make that money, how you want to present yourself and do something different, bolder, more satisfying for you personally. And that's also down to Neptune, your ruling planet, also going into this second house of money. You may want a more spiritual focus with your energies, like do something that's more aligned with your spirit, which is what's showing up here, and also with that bold energy, which is the Aries. So I love this for you, Pisces. So thank you so much for joining me for your April 1st through 15th money and career energies forecast. Venus retrograde thrown in there. That's really our focus. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell. If you liked the video and got some value, if you would consider hitting that thumbs up, it really helps my channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know what's going on with you. We do our best to support one another in the comments with whatever you are working on manifesting. We would all love to hear. And that's the spirit of this channel, is to kind of lift everybody up and be supportive. So that's important to me in the comments. And we will be back with more videos on the way. I think it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Remember, retrogrades are times to rethink, review, reuse, recalibrate, all the rewords. And it's a process. It's a process. And we are gonna have very, very interesting energies more in April, but May and June as well. Things are really going to start picking up, and I think we're going to have a good summer also. There's some good alignments that are on their way. And we also have a nice new moon in Taurus that is coming up at the end of April, and Venus will go back into Aries in April, but the very last day of April. So Aries people Aries, Leo, Sag, fire sign people, you're going to get a very strong boost from Venus in the month of May. So we will discuss that, of course, in future videos. But I thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all your time, your comments. It means so much to me. So thank you very, very much. And I will see you again soon. Stella Wilde, signing out.